KUGAN CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. He's back.
Yo, of course I'm back. What do you mean? The UK is like my second home.
Have you got a house here?
Huh? No house.
No.
no house.
Yeah, obviously DeGale-EUBANK next weekend at the O2, 23rd of Feb, and you're here for...
I'm here with James, working as the assistant with Jim McDonald, and looking forward to getting back with the team. I was with them in Miami for a little bit in December, so I'm looking forward to getting back with the team and closing out camp.
So you've been involved in James's fights previously, but you've never been in the corner.
No, I was in camp with James for the Truex rematch, and I wasn't able to work the corner because Showtime needed me to work the broadcast. So I ended up on the broadcast. This time around, ironically, Showtime has just bought the rights to the fight again. But this time, being that I had already committed to this, they understood, and they gave me the option to come here, and work this fight with James in the corner. So I'm here. Obviously, Diego agrees. Obviously, Diego agrees as well. Diego, you agree, right? All right, you agree, buddy? Diego the Pug. He's a tough guy.
Named after Corrales, shall we say?
He's a feisty one. Oh, he's a feisty one.
Take it away,
He's hiding behind your leg, who?
I know.
He's tough, but he hides behind your leg.
How do you see this going next weekend?
I think James has the better pedigree. He's been doing this longer, and I feel like his style is more set. I feel, obviously, I don't underrate Eubank. I think he's got a ton of character, and he comes with that being his bread and butter, and he was a pretty good puncher in the middleweight division. I can't underestimate him. But I do think if we turn up with the best James DeGale, is going to be a bit too many wrinkles for Eubank. Not to say that he's not going to try the whole way, because I expect him to try the whole way. But I do think if we turn up with the James DeGale that I think we'll turn up with, that the fighter that has been capable of accomplishing so much in his career, I do believe that it will leave Eubank a bit more befuddled, regardless of what version of Eubank turns up.
What do you make of Eubank's kind of trainer situation? That is a lot of focus on the fact that he's finally got a trainer, a full-time trainer. It seems a little strange that he's so far into his career where he's just had.
I don't know. I think
trainer.
It's different strokes for different folks. I think it can be advantageous to work with several different guys at times. You take some of what they've done, but at the same time, I do think you lose some of the gelling factor, when you work with the same guy for a period of time. I think there's a balance there, because I don't think it's always bad to change trainers. Like, I've been a guy who's changed several trainers, but at the same time, you do need some time to gel with a certain trainer if you are going to hire him, And I do think that Eubank kind of misses out on that because he's always been all over the place, And I think it was never more evident than in the Groves fight when really the only instruction he needed was throw a jab, bro. Throw a jab. Close the gap with a jab. He was just trying to walk in, and Groves is just controlling him with the jab. And I think something that simple. You're thinking about so many other things, and then it's something that simple can slip your mind because you don't have a set trainer with a set chemistry who's even telling you these things. So I think it's been different strokes for different folks. But having said that, he's done well in his career, so I can't make it a total criticism. It's not like he's been without success. But again, regardless of what he's done for this camp, I think his ability is still, I don't want to call it limited, but I don't think it's up to par with what we have in a James DeGale. I do think he makes up a lot for what he may lack in experience. He makes up for it in character, and I expect that to happen fully. But at the same time, I'll reiterate. I think that the dimensions we have here with James DeGale, if he's clicking on all his gears, there's just too many gears. I feel like we have a Ferrari. He can get through the gears, and we'll see if UNCUT can go through all those gears as well.
A lot of emphasis on the person that doesn't come out on top of this fight. Where do they go? James is calling it the retirement fight. Whoever doesn't come out on top needs to call it a day. Eubank's kind of not having that kind of well, he's
mentality, obviously.
yeah, it's not that mentality. It's just him not really saying that he's not putting those thoughts in his head.
Well, I think James has obviously accomplished more. So Eubank, you know, he would have a lot of decisions to make with a loss. You know, James has accomplished a lot more. So of course, you know, I think feeling the urgency though, is the right way to take it. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fighter in this situation, you have to take it with this kind of urgency. You know, there comes points in fighters' careers where, you know, it's sort of make or break if you want to remain at the level you've been fighting on. You know, because this no longer gets fun for you if you can't compete at a level you got used to competing at. You know, once you reach a high level, you want to always compete at a high level, and once you're not competing at a high level anymore, when you've been there, it stops being fun because you're like, oh, how do I get up for these kind of fights? You know, so you know, I think the mentality is, you know, win at all costs here, because you want to make sure that you're not only continuing your career, but you're continuing your career at a level where you feel it merits that. You know.
You know, I always like to get your opinion on other boxing issues going on. What are you making of
I give opinions on all the kind of issues: political issues, world issues, boxing issues, football
Brexit.
issues, Brexit. I mean, I'm not as caught up on Brexit as you guys are, so I can't really.
I was so impressed with your knowledge of football.
You to me, I'm Italian, mate.
No,
how are
I
you,
know, but
how are you
we associate you so much with boxing.
I'm a first generation Italian American, which means my family still was like hardcore football fans. It's not like second and third generations where they lose the football. Like my family is hardcore football.
Good.
So
no,
how
but
can
you
expect anything different?
You were naming like the referee, the '94 semi-final World Cup.
Yeah.
Like
No, because certain guys they remain on my shit list for life, you know, and there's certain referees that remain on my shit list for life, you know. It's, you know, like Sandor Poole in the 97 Champions League final when he took away a goal from Christian Vieri when it was 0-0. If Christian scores that goal, if there was absolutely no foul on the play, if Christian scores that goal, Juve go up 1-0 on Borussia and we'll probably win that game 4-0, you know, 4-0. But instead, he takes away the goal for absolutely no reason, and then Borussia will end up winning the game 3-1 in a big upset. Marcus Merck in the 2000 Euro semifinal, you know, red card Zambrotta. For me, a very minimal foul. Leaves Italy with 10 men for the next hour of the game, plus the half hour of extra time. Do we need that? No, we don't need referees like that. It's like boxing. You know, I criticize very heavily when the officiating costs us the correct kind of situation in the games for us to be able to enjoy it. But that's just my opinion.
I don't know what the question was.
I don't either.
I don't know what the question was, but
you went into referees and why I dislike certain referees in certain games, you know.
Fair enough. We should take on this whole Joshua Dillian White Baby Miller situation.
Yeah. You know, I think Dillian White is like sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know, because you know, having worked with Matchroom and he's done well with Matchroom. Matchroom is going to be clearly pro Joshua because Joshua is the big money maker, he's the big star, and he's of course the heavyweight champion of the world, you know. And I think if you're going to be pro Joshua, you probably need him to start invading the U.S. shores, you know. And that sort of leaves Dillian White without a dance partner, you know, and yet he's stuck in the same stable without these dance partners. You know, I can understand the frustration of Dillian White. Matchroom, I feel Matchroom have done a great job with their company, you know, but at the same time, so at times you have these situations where you have two fighters vying for the same thing, and one of them is gonna be unhappy. You know what I'm saying? And I think White has a lot of options. I think White has clearly solidified himself and cemented himself as a world-class fighter on a level not just that on a level beyond UK shores, you know. So I think there's options for him as well in the US if he's not going to get Joshua at Wembley on April 13th.
I think that's pretty much
out. Yeah.
Ruled out. Yeah.
I mean, and the rumor in the
20th,
rumor in the U.S. is June 1st with Jarrell Miller. That's what everybody's talking about. So I assume that'll be the route they go. And you know, there's a lot of potential there for Joshua. You know, in the American notoriety, the potential to bank a lot of money over on U.S. shores. You know, for his career, I think that's a big move. And of course, we know UK stars love to open up their American debuts with hot shot New Yorkers. Kevin Kelly did it with Nassim Hamed. Amir Khan did it with myself. And now AJ is going to do it with Jarrell Miller, who is a hot shot old school New Yorker. Pretty soon we're gonna run out of these old school New Yorkers. You know, the generations are passing, and the new school New Yorkers are not like us. But Jarrell is still in the same mold as the old school New Yorkers. So I think it makes for a good promotion with AJ and Jarrell.
Just coming back to Dillian White, is Dillian White kind of right to be holding out? You know, he's turned down alleged offers of like 4 million, 5 million, apparently. I always use that.
I can't say if he's right or wrong. You know, it's clear that he's frustrated at whatever he's doing, and I think he's got a right to be frustrated. You have to understand, we fight for money. Of course, we fight for money, but we also fight for the glory and the legacy as well. There comes a point in our careers where I think like we stop caring about the legacy and we're trying to bank as much money as we can before we're on the out. But I think Dillian is still in the stage of his career where he's fighting for legacy, rightfully so. And for a guy with Dillian's resume to not have fought even for the heavyweight title once, you know, I can understand the frustration, you know, and he's got a right to be frustrated. But like I said, it's a business, and I also understand that Matchroom kind of had to make a choice here, and they had to make a choice with their megastar AJ, who's also a world-class fighter, and you know, they went that route. But here's the thing about promoters, just like it's just business. If you go one way and you can't make one fighter happy, you have to also understand it's just business if the other fighter then makes you unhappy and does something else in return. You know, that's the thing.
What, if they leave you, mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I've noticed with promoters. Promoters are funny like that. You know, like they make like you owe them everything because they do some things, but then when they choose some other things over you, and when they choose some other things over you, that you have to understand it's just business. But then if you choose something else over them, all of a sudden it's personal. You know, and so that's the only thing you're playing with if you're Matchroom. Again, I reiterate, I think Matchroom have done a great job
But Dillian White is a free agent. He's not signed to.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. But he's not signed to anyone. But he's worked his whole career with her and Matchroom. You know, so the option he does have is to leave, but the option he does have is also to keep working with Matchroom. What I'm saying is just Matchroom. I feel like if they part ways, it should be amicable regardless. If they part ways, maybe Eddie and Dillian come to some sort of agreement, and Dillian can keep fighting for Matchroom. I don't know, or I don't know what the situation is. Honestly, it's none of my business. But regardless of what it is, you would expect the terms to remain amicable no matter what, because it cannot get personal. As I saw in my career, you know, where I have seen situations like this sort of turn personal because promoters sometimes want to make it business when it favors them and then make it personal when it doesn't favor them.
And we're expecting the Wilder Fury rematch to be announced imminently, I believe, and that might take place in New York possibly as well.
Yeah, from what I hear, it was the rumors that I was getting was Barclays Center, you know, which would be really, really amazing, you know. When's the last time you saw a two-leg heavyweight championship in Los Angeles and New York? I mean, the two major cities in the U.S., you know. So it would be really cool that we did the first leg in Los Angeles and we do the second leg in New York. I think, you know, let's do the third leg in Vegas then, right? Make it a trifecta. With the draw being in the first fight, I think regardless of the result in the second fight, you have an opportunity to make a third fight, be it right away or later on, you know. Hopefully AJ can jump in the mix as well at times. And again, you have Luis Ortiz and guys like Dillian White, who are the boogeymen who are right on the outside, who nobody wants to fight, I think, you know. So and the heavyweight division is fun, you know, but I do think that Wilder Fury. Who
wins that for you, the rematch?
I think more adjustments have to be made by Wilder. We'll see. You know, just like I said in the first fight, I don't count out Fury ever. And of course, now that you know we saw the way the first fight played out, you know, you kind of know not to count out Fury. But at the same time, Wilder is also an ultra competitor, and I think he'll have wanted to make the correct adjustments, and he'll be looking to you know, sort of justify that he didn't deserve to lose the first fight, and he'll sort of be looking to justify with an emphatic win in the rematch. So, you know, but if Fury does turn up focused and level-headed like he was in the first fight, I do think the onus remains on Wilder to make more adjustments. I do think that.
Are you fighting again?
Why does everybody the past week been asking me this? What's going on with this? What is it with these rumors that the past week, I'm telling you, the past week have been like super crazy that everybody's been asking me if I'm fighting again. Cougs, why can I ask you where these questions are coming from? Because Because the past week, I was in Los Angeles over the weekend, and it was like crazy questions about that. And now you're asking me over here on the UK shores. So obviously something's going around that I don't know about. Do you hear anything?
Yeah, I know your fight date, the venue, who
Really?
you're fighting. Absolutely.
What?
I know. Don't pretend. Don't
What?
start pretending,
Get
Paulie.
out of here!
I was told who you're fighting, the venue.
Get out
Paulie.
of here! Are you nuts? By the way, this is tea, so I'm not drinking. What, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
Paulie, I'm not going to out you and start naming what the deal you've just done as well.
The deal! The deal! The deal!
So you're not fighting then? Do you want to fight?
Do I want to fight?
Do you want to?
Sometimes I see certain fighters, certain events, and I'll be like, oh, I missed this, you know? But then you know what I remind myself? Training camp, you know? Like what James just went through for like a bunch of months, like, I don't want that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Who wants that? I can't deal with it anymore. I can't stay healthy for a training camp, you know? Like that was the problem at the end of my career. I couldn't stay healthy for a full training camp, you know? And you get to the fight like at 70% or whatever, and you're just like, you know, you're just annoyed. Not to mention, you really want to make weight at my age. You really want to make, you know what it's like to make weight at my age? It's hell. It's hell.
How old are you now?
38.
38.
When
Paulie,
I
do you
was
know?
just a young strapping buck, remember that?
Absolutely. Paulie, do you know what I just remembered?
What?
I watched the weird interview with you.
Really?
Weird. It was on Behind the Gloves. You know what interview I'm talking about?
Oh, God,
I was watching it and I was thinking...
Well, it wasn't that weird if you really use common sense, Coos. It's not that weird if you use
It
common
was
sense.
bizarre, Paulie.
How bizarre can it be if you
It
use
was
common
bizarre.
sense?
No, but I was trying to apply common sense with like...
Apply common sense. Apply common sense. Would you be talking about another man, wanting him thinking about you on a consistent basis, if you didn't have at least an intention after fight, as a fighter, you know, we'll say you're in a fighter, you're in a fighting business. If you didn't have any intention of fighting him, or if you had the full video of the spar, releasing the full video of the spar, if you didn't have any of those intention, there's only a third intention left. There's only a third intention left.
Says who?
What do you mean, says who? Says common sense. What do you mean, says who? What other reason you have to talk about another grown man constantly? What other reason? Like, my responses are my responses. Well, you just brought it up. Everybody else brings it up. But, you know, we know what I want to get at. You know, I'd love to do it for real. Like, or at least have him release the full video if he doesn't want to do it for real. You know, we know what I want. But what does he want? He obviously wants something else that is beyond comprehension for me because I don't go that way. Common sense? Are we understanding each other from common sense perspective?
I'm not.
And I'm not the one that made up these rumors. I was told these rumors, okay? But I didn't even believe them at first. Now they're starting to seem more and more real.
All right.
And from what I do here, he likes putting things in bums, so, you know. So.
Okay, no comment to that from me. But, okay, well, like I said, I just was pointing out that it was a bit, I was like, I had to watch it a couple of times. Just
You had to watch it, really? You had to watch it a couple of times.
A couple of times.
Really?
I was like, I know, yeah, okay, a couple of times. And
I felt like it was totally natural. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think it was bizarre at all. It was just...
so let's just say how it is. You believe...
I believe he's a closeted homosexual, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And as there are many, but I also don't believe in 2019 you should remain closeted. I don't believe you should be a prisoner of your own thoughts in 2019. I believe you just gotta be free, you know.
And you believe he has a crush on you?
100%. 100%. There's no doubt about it. I mean, look what this guy does. Look at his behavior pattern. Look at his behavior pattern. I mean, he just came out with another documentary showing a couple of footages. He posted me. Like, he brings this kind of storm to me. Like, you see how you're asking me this question? Would you be asking me this question had we already seen the full spar and it would be long forgotten? So no matter what he said, people could just divert back to the real spar and just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Would you be asking me this question? Would Behind the Gloves be asking me this question? Would Helen Yee be asking me this question? Would everybody else be asking me this question if we had already seen the full spar? No. We wouldn't be asking me this question because you would just, anytime he mentioned something, you could just revert to that video and just forget about it, right? So, for him not to have that intention, and for him not to have the intention to fight me, but consistently bringing this up, what else is it? I mean, come on, we're adults here. What else is it?
Maybe he just doesn't like you.
If he doesn't like me, he can come fight me, no? I mean, he has got everyone convinced that he beat me up, right? So, I mean, wouldn't that be common sense? Or at least release the video. If you don't like me and you supposedly beat me up, why don't you just release the whole video then, right? And show everybody that you beat me up, according to what you did, right? Or had me, what did he say? Had me concussed? Sure, release it then. I'm telling you to release it. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Like for him to continuously say he's gonna release it and then not release it, and just release a clip here and there, don't you think that's, you know, continuously talking about me though, and this would bring that's a little on the gay side? I mean, wouldn't you think that? I mean, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's 2019.
No, I would
come
point
out.
out there's absolutely nothing wrong with
He's
that.
he's a big showman. He's a big showman. So I would expect him any day now to come with a cartwheel out of the closet. I wouldn't expect him to just, you know, like just do it in a normal fashion, because McGregor doesn't do anything in a normal fashion. But a cartwheel or a somersault out of the closet, I would have totally expected. But I don't think he's got the guts yet. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have the guts and to do most things in life. But I think in this particular situation, somebody has to comfort him and say that he'll be praised. So I'll let him know that, you know, he will be praised if he comes out and just lets it out. You know, because this is why he's always angry. You know, you notice this guy has issues. He's always angry. He's always got some kind of issue. It's because when you keep a closeted issue like that inside and you don't let it out, you know, it can start to cause you a lot of stress and a lot of heartache and a lot of as we say in Sicilian, ashido. You know what I'm saying? Like heartburn. You know. So I think if he does come up with the guts to do it, you know, a somersault or a cartwheel out of the closet, I mean, that would be very much McGregor-esque.
Paulie Malingnaggì, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Don't ever call me bizarre again, Cougs.
I didn't call you bizarre.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I called the video,
messing with you.
the interview bizarre. But
so does that mean this one became bizarre too?
this has turned a little bit bizarre, but it's not the context of what was being said. I was just, a little bit baffled, shall we say.
You know, you try to start to come up with conclusions after a while, you know? So even Diego agrees with me. You see, he's balking. He's like, yo, you know what? He's like, he's telling McGregor, come out of the closet. You don't hear him? You know, so you know, I mean, it's bizarre only in the fact that when you realize that it's probably true. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason it gets bizarre. Like, because what a weird way to go at attempt to go at your fetish. You know what I'm saying? What a weird way. Like, if you have a certain fetish, like, there's different ways of approaching it. This guy like went for it in a weird, closeted way and like tried to hide it behind the fact that he maybe wanted to fight me, that he maybe disliked me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's bizarre. If anything's bizarre, that's bizarre. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a weird, off the rails way to approach this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, it's odd, but you have to think outside the box to kind of see it coming. And McGregor's a guy who thinks outside the box, so you know, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm an in-the-box thinker, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, Paulie, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again. It's 10 days, roughly 11 days, till fight night, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
Enjoy your time here in the UK again.
Always. Come on, man. I'm like a honorary citizen over here, you know?
No worries. Thank you very much.
Cheers.